Oil just hit $110 per barrel. The UAE just quit OPEC after nearly 60 years, and OPEC's latest production increase is not enough to bring prices back down. This combination of events is the reason your gas bill is rising again this summer. And every American needs to understand what is really happening and why. First, what exactly is OPEC, and why does it control your gas price? OPEC stands for the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. It was founded in 1960 by 5 oil-rich nations: Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, and Venezuela. Today it has expanded into OPEC+, a broader group that includes Russia and several other countries. Together, these nations control approximately 40% of the world's entire oil supply. And because they control that much supply, they can dramatically influence the price of oil globally. When OPEC decides to pump less oil, global supply drops, prices rise. When they pump more, supply increases, prices fall. This is why decisions made in Riyadh or Abu Dhabi directly affect how much you pay at the gas pump in Ohio. The connection is that direct. That is what makes this week's news so important. Now, why did the UAE just quit OPEC after 60 years? This is a story that has been building for years. The UAE, United Arab Emirates, joined OPEC in 1967, just a few years after the cartel was established. For decades, they were a loyal member. But inside OPEC, tension had been growing between the UAE and Saudi Arabia. The core of the dispute is simple. The UAE has massively expanded its oil production capacity over the last decade. They can now pump significantly more oil than their OPEC quota allows. They wanted a higher quota, permission to pump more, earn more. Saudi Arabia, which dominates OPEC, repeatedly pushed back. Saudi Arabia's strategy is to keep production limited and prices high enough to fund their national budget. For the UAE, that strategy was costing them billions in lost revenue. So this week, they made their decision. The UAE is leaving OPEC. They will now pump as much oil as they can, like any independent oil producer, without being bound by OPEC quotas. One energy analyst described the change simply. The UAE will just act as a normal non-OPEC producer and pump as much as they can. Now the critical question, why is oil still above $110? The UAE leaving OPEC is actually news that should push prices down. More UAE oil flowing freely should increase supply and lower prices. But here is the problem. The Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway through which roughly 20% of the world's oil supply travels, is still being disrupted by the Iran war. The U.S. Navy blockade that began April 13th has dramatically reduced oil tanker traffic through the strait. So even if the UAE pumps more oil, they cannot get it to global markets efficiently while the strait remains restricted. That supply is effectively trapped, and oil prices reflect that reality. OPEC also just agreed to increase production by 206,000 barrels per day starting in May. But here's the reality check. The global oil market consumes approximately 100 million barrels every single day. 200,000 extra barrels is just 0.2% of daily demand. That is a rounding error, not nearly enough to move prices meaningfully. And OPEC itself acknowledged in its statement that attacks on energy infrastructure are deeply concerning to member countries. They are increasing production, but they know that disruptions to key maritime routes are the real driver of the price crisis. So what does this mean for your gas bill this summer? The national average gas price is already above $4 per gallon. With oil at $110, that could rise to $4.50 or $4.75 per gallon in high-cost states like California, New York, and Hawaii. The states where you will feel it least, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, they produce their own oil domestically and are somewhat insulated from import price shocks. The states where you will feel it most, any state that relies heavily on imported refined gasoline, Northeast states, West Coast states. Budget planning tip for this summer. If you drive more than 15,000 miles per year, budget an additional $50 to $100 per month for fuel compared to last summer. And if you are planning a road trip, consider timing it for early morning when stations often have not yet updated prices. Now, which stocks go up and which go down? Going up, energy stocks, ExxonMobil, Chevron, ConocoPhillips. Every dollar oil rises above 100 means enormous additional profit for oil companies. Also going up, oil services companies like Halliburton and Schlumberger, and domestic refinery companies. Going down, airlines, again. Jet fuel costs are directly linked to crude oil. United, Delta, American, Southwest. All face serious margin pressure above $100 oil. Also going down, consumer discretionary stocks. When people pay more for gas, they spend less on restaurants, retail, and entertainment. And watch for trucking companies. Fuel is their largest operating expense. Higher oil means lower margins across the entire logistics sector. Finally, 3 possible outcomes this month. Outcome 1, Strait of Hormuz reopens. Iran and US reach a deal. Tankers flow freely again. Oil drops sharply, possibly back to $80. Gas prices fall within 2 to 3 weeks. This is the best case for consumers and the economy. Outcome 2, stalemate continues. The blockade holds. Oil stays above 100. Summer gas prices remain painfully high. Mild recession risk increases for consumer spending. Outcome 3, UAE pumping at full capacity combined with OPEC increases actually starts to offset some of the Hormuz disruption. Oil settles in the $90 to $100 range, still high, but stabilizing. Most analysts currently see outcome 2 as most likely, with outcome 3 as a hopeful scenario. The next OPEC meeting is May 3rd. Watch that date very carefully, and watch any news from Iran peace talks. Those 2 events will move oil prices more than anything else this month. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you felt the oil price rise at your gas pump this week? Comment below. I reply to every single one. Subscribe for US business and money news every week in simple language. See you next video.